Let's in the meantime speak of terror state Pakistan. India once again showing a mirror to Pakistan and calling it as a global epicenter of terror. India has once again slammed Pakistan in UNSC open debate as India has called out Pakistan and has now labelled it as a terror hub. India rejecting Pakistan's claim over Jammu and Kashmir, repeating that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India and will always be. And however, when it comes to this repeated record, that of Pakistan, now seems to be India calling out the divisive agenda of terror state.
I refer to the statement made by the representative of Pakistan today. India would like to reiterate that the Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are an integral and inalienable part of India. They were, are, and will always remain so. Pakistan's unwarranted reference to Jammu and Kashmir in today's open debate attests to its obsessive focus on harming India and its people. A serving non-permanent Security Council member that chooses to further this obsession in all meetings and platforms of the UN in pursuit of its divisive agenda cannot be expected to fulfill its designated responsibilities and obligations. India had entered into the Indus Waters Treaty 65 years ago in good faith, in a spirit of goodwill and friendship. Throughout these 6.5 decades, Pakistan has violated the spirit of the treaty by inflicting 3 wars and thousands of terror attacks on India. In the last 4 decades, tens of thousands of Indian lives have been lost in Pakistan-sponsored terror attacks, the most recent of which was a Pahalgam terror attack in April 2025, which involved religion-based targeted killings of 26 innocent civilians by Pakistan-sponsored terrorists. It is in this backdrop that India has finally announced that the treaty will be held in abeyance until Pakistan, which is a global epicenter of terror, credibly and irrevocably ends its support for cross-border and all other forms of terrorism. Pakistan, of course, has a unique way of respecting the will of its people by jailing a prime minister, by banning the ruling political party, and by letting its armed forces engineer a constitutional coup through the 27th Amendment and giving lifetime immunity to its Chief of Defense Forces. Let me be clear. India will counter Pakistan-sponsored terrorism in all its forms and manifestations with all its might. Madam President, in closing, with abiding faith in multilateralism, India reiterates that we stand ready to contribute towards working for peace.
Well, Srinjoy is connected with us. Srinjoy, good morning. This seems to be the repeated record of Pakistan there. India now rejecting as far as the so-called dispute over Jammu and Kashmir, calling as an integral part of India, and especially when it comes to at a time where Pakistan once again has been exposed as far as when it comes to the terror hub as it continues to shield.
Of course, Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India. There's no dispute about that. The point is that there is so much trouble in Pak-occupied Kashmir that a day will come, as the Indian government has said, that POK would become part of India. It is part of India, but it will be retaken by India because the people of POK would not want Pakistani overlordship anymore. But as far as what Harish has said, it's very clear. One, you have an elected prime minister, you sent him to jail. You have the most popular party in Pakistan, and that party is banned. You have a military leader who becomes field marshal, which means that he can wear a uniform for life. Now, this is a country that talks about Kashmir, but Kashmir is an issue the world is not interested in hearing Pakistan's view. The world does not want to hear what Pakistan has been saying about Jammu and Kashmir, which is why they have been saying it for all these years, over 75 years, and no one has really cared so much to listen to Pakistan's narrative. Because everybody knows that narrative is incredibly flawed.
Well, it may time and again want to repeat that same old record of Jammu and Kashmir, but India is not taking that lightly as far as exposing Pakistan, especially when it comes to several grounds where Pakistan has been called out as a global epicenter of terror and credibly and irrevocably ending its support for cross-border and all other forms of terrorism. That is how India has now labeled Pakistan on a global platform. Srinjoy, appreciate you joining us here on the broadcast. With that, we head into a short break.